Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Ashes to Ashes. Last time on Ashes to Ashes, what did we come up with for a title? Well, in the thumbnail it says Shaz just wants to have fun, which is not untrue. In the description I put Shaz Granger just wants to live quietly, which is also not untrue. Uptown Girl? I suppose. I don't know. The point is, basically, there was a case. I don't even remember what the case was about. It was something about missing girls or something. There was the whole dating agency thing. Yeah. Basically, the big thing was that Shaz wanted to leave the force and put it all behind her because she didn't think she could handle it and she wasn't good and she was bringing the team down and she was getting frustrated. And then at the end, after a traumatic encounter with this one creepy evil dude, Jean was like, yo, you need to stay on and you'll make CID by Christmas. And she was like, well, okay. And then there was a moment where like everything around her went dark and she just stared straight into the camera as Life on Mars played for like 2 seconds. Not even that, like one. So yeah, what the hell's going on with that? Also, Jim Keats apparently believes that Jean killed Sam Tyler. And yeah, so that is now, I mean, at the very least, Alex is now on the investigation. What happened to Sam? So, interesting stuff there. I'll be very curious to see how that unfolds. But yeah, the hell is going on? What the hell's going on with Shaz? Honestly, like, that's one of my big things now. Because yeah, it seems like, I don't know, it's just like very strange. Like I have 1,000 different theories, none of them I can base in anything. So, yeah. So let's just go ahead and jump right into this episode of Ashes to Ashes. Here we go.
I want every anarchist, commie, Trotskyist, pinko, lefty, greasy bastard student rounded up and brought in here tonight.
Are you sure you haven't left anybody out?
Yeah,
Vanessa Redgrave.
Good point, Chris. Tragurdin and all.
We've got another one. Polling station.
Oh, jeez.
You are certifiable.
Thank you. I've always wanted a certificate for something.
Well, there is someone in there.
Ray, don't you even think about it.
I definitely hear someone. Oh, Ray, don't be a hero! Ah, Ray's being a hero! Maybe this is the Ray episode. Ooh. Interesting. I wonder if this will be a Ray episode. If we get, like, character episodes, that'd be cool. Alright, good job, Ray. Oh. That was difficult, but...
Ray, it's me, mate. Are you okay? Shall I give you mouth to mouth?
No. Just give him a sec to start breathing.
Ray will be fine. He's been inhaling smoke since he was about 9.
How do we know it's a he?
Most of those convicted of arson are male. There may be evidence of occupational maladjustment, sexual, marital problems, alcoholism.
Well, that could apply to half the country. Come to think of it, it could apply to most of the people in here. If it was political...
Shall I have you back, mate? You can give me that $5 you owe me.
You shouldn't be here, Ray.
It's only smoke inhalation.
Well, you could go take a shower.
Do you mind looking after this for me, please?
Sure.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Stars.
Yeah.
Why stars?
Well, yesterday, daytime, I was silly, but I looked out my window and it went dark and there were stars.
And then when you look back, they're gone.
Yeah. How did you... The ID?
Here he is, local hero. Hello, mate.
Yay.
This is his brother, Steve.
Have you ever come across such organised arson attacks before, Andy?
Not really, no. Well, it's obviously somebody with a political grudge.
No, a malcontent.
What if it is the fireman?
Thanks, right, Steve.
I don't trust that guy.
Mrs. Thatcher, highly visible and coming in strongly.
Alright. Election day.
Peace with freedom and justice.
Pretty sure I know how this one ends, so... All I know about Thatcher is that, like, I can't remember who it was. There's, like, a video of people, like, when she died, where they were just like, and fuck that bitch. I can't remember what it was, though. You'll excuse me, I'm not too up to date. Again. I put that personally on me.
He said that if it's a new army gadget, they won't tell you anything about it because it's top secret.
Well done, Ray. Really good work. Really thorough. Thank you.
Yeah.
I've had family in the army, so I'm interested.
Well, maybe we could get your family on the phone. You know, we could have them
No.
advise us.
Well, they don't like to talk about it, you know?
Okay.
Alright.
Right, no tea and no fags until you start talking, shitstick.
My dad says not to talk to the pigs. They stitch you up.
It's a kid.
Dad's not here, though,
Oh.
is he? It's just me, D.I. Drake, and my size 9 boots.
Gov,
Shit.
His attacks involved complicated wiring. Does he look like the brains behind
Who
that?
knows what these little bastards cook up in double chemistry?
We've seen
I mean,
how
kids
that
can be
works.
smart.
I promised his parents.
I promise nothing.
Help
Bleh.
me! He's 12.
So little Jimmy Osmond was 10, and look at the pain and misery he inflicted.
Help! It's abuse. What next? Waterboarding.
Oh, it's typical. I go for a confession, and you want to teach him to surf.
Duh.
Right, take that little stroke down and set
Waterboarding.
free.
Gov, there's been another fire.
Oh, God. The smoke machines are working overtime on set today.
Stepping into the flames. Must have been desperate to impress his gov. Where does that come from? All that macho stuff?
I don't know, it's in his blood, I suppose. No, his granddad Alfie had medals, but he doesn't really talk about it.
Medals, you say? Not firemen, then.
Army. I'm really trying to figure shit out. Thanks for holding the door for the cameraman.
What are you doing?
It's just some stuff Jim asked for.
Jim? Jim?
DCI Keats.
DCI Keats. I'll put it back.
Just as the point.
Because you didn't follow your old man. You wanted to, though, didn't you? Because you didn't want to let him down, but you saw it wasn't for you, and do you know why? Because you're an independent thinker, Ray.
Yeah, can make my own decisions.
Yeah, that's why there's no shame in not following your dad.
And not
Because
following
the army,
Jane.
oh, they'll knock that shit out of you. It's all shut up and follow orders. You're a free mind.
Thanks, man.
I'm just saying, if ever the police offer you the chance to move on from here and be your own man, don't balk at it. Gene Hunt is an amazing fella. Amazing.
It's like
You don't need him.
it's like Next Gen with Riker. Riker never moves
You
up.
won't be letting him down.
The only chance he got was when Picard was
Join
taken.
you.
He smashed the window and climbed in. That's why I legged it.
What are you talking about, you little toad egg?
You better not be playing games with us, Sunshine.
I'm not, I swear.
You know what? If I was looking at spending another day in a cell that smelt of stick, I'd probably say it was the first person I saw too.
I used to
But what if a fire just breaks out
I'm gonna
here?
listen to this little...
That's rough, but I imagine if it is him, he wouldn't want anyone hurt.
Going into that fire wasn't just about helping the woman who was trapped. It was going to help you, too.
How's it helping me?
I don't know, Ray. But whatever it is that you're holding on to, you have to let it go. Because it's just going to keep on eating you up in there.
Well, yeah.
Nothing eats away at these guts, Drake.
Pyromaniac friend is in that room. Now, I'm telling you, Bolly, you do not let Keats call the shots. What we need is a bucket load of evidence, starting with the wife.
I'm thinking it might be the brother.
I think they're all pissing up the wrong tree. Cheers, Ray. You never told me about the Falklands, you and your brother. How many orgies did you waste?
I didn't count.
Did you blow any up?
They were just kids, Ray.
Yeah, I don't think it's something to
They couldn't even hold the rifle.
be proud about.
They might be able to fix his skin, but what about up here?
Well, yeah.
He scares the kids because he wakes up in the middle of the night screaming. I just want my husband back.
I was trying to help him. He tried to leg it, so I said he's only going to make things worse. I tried to stop him. I'm just trying to help, mate. Sorry.
A man who tries to leg it sounds like a man who's guilty to me. Come on. You listen to me.
Now there's got to be some sort of twist there.
Stop pissing me.
Army Recruitment Office, Bank Street. Just burnt down.
There you go.
Well,
Andy couldn't have done it. He's locked up. I told you he's innocent.
but the
Time's up, Jim.
brother!
Newman's orders. Release him.
Or it could just... It's either both of them, or it's just not him.
However, although faced with rough Tory voters and pursued by a band
Oof.
packed with Labour enthusiasm, Mr. Jenkins maintained his theme.
Why did none of the lighters work?
After Jenkins visits Southampton,
Uh-huh.
again derided the Labour Party,
It's happening. Oh, this guy.
CID.
Oh God, she's gonna win by a mile.
Give it a rest, Granger, will you?
Eh,
Maggie versus an old boy in a duffel coat.
Do you have any idea why Andy Smith's so messed up in the head? It's because of her.
Oh, yeah, and what do you know about it, little girl, eh?
Steady on, mate. She's entitled to her opinion.
Her opinion? Based on what? What she's learnt at some college in Bromley? What she's read in a book? Or what her bisexual mates down the wine bar are saying? That was a brave man. If he'd have done it, he'd have confessed. Because that was a brave man.
It wasn't started with a fuse wire. And it's been doused in, what's that liquid called, Ray?
Liquid accelerant.
Right.
oh.
That has been rigged to look like the other attacks, but it's not. It's a copy.
No.
It would have to be somebody who knew how the other fires were set.
Someone fairly close to Andy Smith then.
Yeah, like
The
his
brother.
Who was... Finchley. Shit. He was going after the PM.
Oh,
Correct,
shit.
he's planning on bombing her in her constituency.
Jeez.
How long have you been sleeping with her?
Well,
She waited for him, yeah. When he came home, she still waited for him. Because although he was home, he never came back. She's a hero too, you know. I love her.
Come any closer, I'm gonna flick this.
no shit.
Drop the gun. You don't know nothing about me.
You need to talk to somebody who understands exactly what you've been through.
Right. So some shrink, some doctor says a few magic words and everything's back to normal, is it? Is it? This doesn't bring back my mates, does it? Take away the image in my head of when that bomb hit the ship. Because they didn't burn to death. No. No, they melted. Right in front of me.
Jesus.
This ain't the mark. Look at it! This isn't the mark of a hero. This is the mark of a mug. People said, could have been worse, Andy. Could have been your face, mate. But let me tell you something. Wouldn't have made a blind bit of difference. Because either way, see? Still finds me disgusting. Don't you? Don't you?
Oh, Jesus, man.
Go on, Gov, do as he says. Get out. And you, Drake. Go on, Chris. Get out.
Oh, shit.
Andy's right. But what the hell did he fight for? I wanted to be you once. A soldier. Like my dad. Do you know what stopped me? Me. Night before the interview, I went out and got hammered. I kidded myself that I was drinking to celebrate. But I knew deep down that wasn't the reason. I was scared shitless of being shot, of being bombed. I was just scared of dying. The more scared I got, the more I drank. Well, I missed that interview. As far as my dad was concerned, I'd blown it. And then I joined the police. I thought, this is it. I still wasn't good enough. And I'll never be good enough. I've been choking on that ever since.
Oh, damn, man.
One last cigarette, eh? Can I light it, mate? Oh, please. Come on. Go.
Yoink.
No, don't touch him! Ready?
Yeah.
I don't know if that was... If tossing the lighter was as dramatic. It's pretty obvious that he was going to do that, but... Everything else, that was fucking dramatic as shit, man. Remember when I called Ray not a character? Goddamn.
So,
If you tell anybody, I'll put itching powder down your knickers for a month. You'll be praying for a dose of the clap to just take the heat away.
Well, thanks, Ray.
Ray.
Yeah, Alex has been talking to Manchester. That's interesting.
Night, night.
God damn it. Ah!
3 words. Well done, Ray.
Oh! He looked right into my soul and I heard the fucking song.
Raymondo?
The slow 80s clap. Oh my god, the slow 80s clap. Meh. Alright. Alrighty. A Ray episode. Holy moly. Okay. So this one's Ray. Oh, what's happening though? What's happening? Because now Ray got that moment of darkness. The darkness surrounds him. He looks. And you can certainly hear it. Let me go back. Oh, what's happening? Oh, what is happening, man? I feel like I'm gonna have to go back. This is so crazy that at some point, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch this season, you know? It's so strange. It's so weird how different this season is. And so much better this season is, you know? I can only assume this wasn't done on a whim. Especially being the final season. But how... I don't know. How is this season so different? It baffles me. It baffles me how different this season is. But it's great. It's so great. And so interesting. It's so... Again, I'm very interested in the plot rather than the cases, you know? I'm way more interested in the plot than the cases, but that's honestly because the plot is more centered on the main characters, you know? Not just Alex, but everyone. I wonder if they're ever going to bring back Annie. Because that would be the other thing of like... Because, again, I have 10 million theories going in my head. None of them I can base in anything. But one idea is if, let's say, all of them were sent back in time, you know? But only, I don't know, maybe only Sam and Alex can actually remember their real lives. I don't know. But if that's the case, if they're all sent back, well, Sam, Alex, and Martin Summers, the only people who would know, but that doesn't make sense. What is the darkness? What is the darkness that surrounds them? And what are the stars? You know, I can't help but also think about what you guys told me about the ending of Life on Mars American version, the US version of Life on Mars, where, spoiler alert, at the end, they were on their way to Mars. And that was just a simulation while they were in deep sleep. But Sam screwed up or something. I don't know. But I can't help but think that's as valid a theory as anything else, because I don't know. That could be it. Who knows? Maybe. Who knows? Maybe in 2008, all of them were put to public execution, and in the last faint moments that their brains were still alive, they imagined this entire scenario of being in 1983, and that's what this is. It could be that. Who knows? Who knows? So it's not just the darkness either, it's the stars. Why does that not freak Alex out more? Like, between Alex and Sam, both of them heard a lot of stuff and saw a lot of stuff that nobody else could see. And suddenly, Shaz says, "Oh yeah, in the middle of the day," this is my Shaz impression, "in the middle of the day, I saw stars, but then I turned around and they were gone again." That's my best Shaz impression. Apologies to Shaz's everywhere. Apologies to Shaz's actress everywhere. So, but yeah, it's like, follow up on that, Alex. What are you doing? And see, maybe they're in space. They're on their way to Mars, but in the middle, Gene killed Sam or something. That doesn't make sense. I don't know. Maybe it's Planet of the Apes. Who knows? Well, I know who knows the answer. Y'all know the answer. And you're watching 8 weeks of me dying to figure it out. You know, this, I feel like more than the last episode, was more about the case. Like, the last 2 episodes I felt, and I know this isn't a flattering angle on me, but I gotta, lean back and think about this. The last 2 episodes I felt were more plot-driven than case-driven, you know? Whereas this one, while we still have the plot with Ray this episode, I guess it was more intertwined with the case. So I can't really sit here and be like, oh, well, the case, yeah, it was good, but whatever, let's talk about the story. Because this one, the story with Ray is more intertwined with the case, you know? So, arson. Political arson on election day. Here, I'll do this so I force myself to sit up a bit more. Was she elected or was she reelected? There's a question. Well, I've got a computer. I can look it up. She was Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1979 to 1990. Okay, so must be a re-election then. So, man, this red shirt does nothing for my weight. Oh, well. Yeah, okay. Nothing else I really need to see about that, so. Alright. I don't think there's anything else. You know what? I'm gonna look up the guy. Oh, shit. Sorry. I just booted up IMDb. There's apparently a teaser for the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Well, fucking sweet. Well, I'll look at that later. Got important stuff to do right here. No, I don't think so. I don't think I got anything on this guy. Oh, well. So, political arson. Interesting. I mean, everything with Andy was very, very good. It was handled very, very well. Because, yeah, that whole thing of trauma... Because, you know, they brought up the Falkland Wars before. And it was more just sort of brought up in passing. But now, hearing it, it's interesting. I mean, it's essentially... No, the British weren't in Vietnam, were they? No. No, that was just America. Well, I mean, I think there were a couple other countries, but I don't think they were. No. It was mainly America, I think. So I guess you could probably honestly say that maybe, and you can correct me on this if this doesn't sound right, but from what I'm gathering in this show, it kind of sounds like the Falkland Wars with Argentina is sort of the British equivalent of America's Vietnam War. So, yeah, people coming back shell-shocked, you know, with mental health issues, basically. Like, it's terrible, and nobody getting the right treatment. Now, I get when they talk about, when he talks about, you know, oh, well, I'm just supposed to go see some shrink, some doctor, he says a few words, and I'm magically cured. Well, no, that's not how therapy works. And I will say it's interesting. Another show that also does this really well was The Punisher. The Punisher was really good, even though, yes, it's in a big action show and you've got The Punisher, oh, he's got his guns and stuff like that. But I felt like The Punisher really showed really did a good job showing, you know, soldiers, veterans who had a lot of troubles. You know, one of the Punisher's friends like had a meeting where people, you know, soldiers could come and, you know, talk or not talk or just listen, you know, just a sort of support group. And there was one soldier, I'm trying to remember, I think it was in season 1, and they might have done it more in season 1 than season 2, but one of them, I think it was like he didn't like his bed or anything like that, so he dug this massive ass hole in his backyard, and he slept down there because that was better for him. Well, better, put that in quotes, but that's what he was used to. He was used to the barracks, basically. So Andy, like, I get that. I get why, you know, it's like, well, that's why he wouldn't do sort of therapy and stuff like that, but you also have to now. I guess I don't know the state of, you know, military therapy in 1983 in the UK. I will claim ignorance to that. But there's got to be therapists out there, like military therapists. Like, that's a thing, you know? Military therapists. That has to be a thing. So that is someone you could go to, even if it's not a perfect, you know, not even saying like, oh, that will cure you or anything. No, it's just that, but that could help, you know, having someone who does understand, you know? And it's interesting how they go over this and basically how Ray sort of connects with him despite not being a soldier, you know? Which was very, very interesting, you know? Whereas Andy is going on all the trauma of, you know, watching his friends literally melt away, which, Jesus Christ, yeah, that's fucking traumatizing. Like, you know, he's going with all the stuff, you know, from the war and then what people keep saying after the war and stuff. And even highlighted in this episode when Ray keeps saying, you're a hero, you're a hero, you're a hero. And he's just like, fucking no, I'm not. I'm just the guy who didn't die in a bullshit war that probably didn't need to happen. And Ray it's interesting again that Ray identifies with him and connects with him despite not being in the army. He said, because I was afraid of being shot. I was afraid of dying out there. So I got shit-faced drunk, and every time I thought about it, I got more scared and I drank more, you know? And then again, it's sort of, you know, it's not just what happened, but it's also the aftermath. where for Andy, he comes home, everyone keeps calling him a hero and stuff, and, you know, his wife betrays him, his brother betrays him, all that sort of stuff, and nobody's, like, listening to him, nobody can understand him and stuff like that. And Ray, after he, you know, pretty much blew this interview, he didn't go to this interview, you know, his dad is saying, wow, you've blown this, you're a disappointment, you're not in the army because you failed, you're a failure. And even when Ray tries to rectify this by joining the police force, that's not enough, despite the fact that it should be enough, but that's not the point. The point is, to Ray's father, that's not enough, you know, that ain't it, Chief, you know. So I find that very, very interesting, and it's good insight into Ray's character, definitely, you know. And you could honestly say it's like, okay, well, with everything with Jim is saying, you know, just following orders and stuff like that, and, you know, well, you can think for yourself, you're very clever and stuff like this, and yada yada yada, and Jim is sort of looking at this from a perspective of, well, you know, you tried to get your dad's approval, but it didn't work. Now you basically are stuck in this hole of seeking Gene's approval, you know, which is interesting. And it does sort of remind me in Next Gen, to a lesser extent, with Commander Riker, because that was one of the things in, was it, I think, Best of Both Worlds, when, spoiler alert, Captain Picard is assimilated by the Borg, and he becomes Locutus of Borg, and Commander Riker becomes Captain of the Enterprise. And, you know, you go through this whole thing of like, well, Riker, he's never really tried to go for captain. He's never tried to get his own ship. He's just stayed as commander to Captain Picard. Now he is in command of everything, but then, you know, they get Picard back, and Riker just sort of stays in that position. Did he lose his chance? You know, he doesn't move up the ladder, and that's just sort of how he remains for the remainder of the Next Generation, is he just remains in that one spot. And, you know, here you can kind of see the same for Ray. I mean, and I would also argue the same thing about Chris, because, you know, the fact is that nearly 10 years after Life on Mars, Ray and Chris were still in the exact same place. You know, DC Chris Skelton, DS Ray Carling, under DCI Gene Hunt, and that was it, you know? Whereas now, only now, when Gene is gone and out of the picture, does Ray make DI, which is interesting, you know? So that's really, really interesting, just sort of seeing that perspective, and, you know, Ray always sort of being in someone's shadow, but here he actually did it. He did it without the Gov. He did it himself, and that's just, it's very interesting. But you can also see some of that from Life on Mars. Was it the penultimate episode of season 1 of Life on Mars, where, you know, he did try to do something on his own, and it accidentally killed a suspect, basically. And the end of that episode, Ray is demoted down to detective constable again. And that's the thing, you know, we had that line where Gene says, you know, these boys, they think they're made in my image, but they don't know when to draw a line, and that terrifies me, you know? Like, yes, they do try to impress Gene, they do try to do everything. Even like Chris said last episode, it's good to stay in the shadow of Gene Hunt, you know? But no, you do need to do things for yourself, but you can't just do anything to seek approval. You have to do this right. And here, he did it right. So, all of that, really, really great stuff. Just a really all-around good episode for Ray. And I'm very interested now to see different episodes about the characters. You know, last episode primarily focusing on Shaz, this episode primarily focusing on Ray. I can only assume maybe next episode will focus on Chris, you know? That'd be really interesting. And also, it is just very interesting to still try to think like, okay, so now Ray, it's not just that he had his own episode, but he had that darkness around him. It's like, what's going on, you know? So all of that, just really, really interesting. yeah, honestly, I guess that kind of covers everything, doesn't it? Wow. It's always interesting when I go through, like, when I cover everything without ever looking at my notes, you know? Because that's the whole point of me taking notes on the episodes, is so that when we do the discussion, I go point by point on what I want to talk about. But sometimes I just talk, and then I look down at the notes, and I was like, oh yeah, I didn't mention any of these, you know? But I did, technically, you know? So yeah, all around very interesting stuff. Hopefully, the other thing about that is hopefully I didn't miss anything. So, but yeah, very, very good episode. Again, this season, hitting it out of the park in a way that this show, honestly, like, this is some of the best stuff either of these shows has ever done. And we're only 3 episodes into this season, but I don't know, just the tone, how everything's going about, the different character studies and stuff, like, this is so, I don't know, it's really good. I would almost say, like, this is what we should have had after Life on Mars, but I understand taking time to reestablish the characters now in the 80s, and obviously you have to establish Alex, and I don't know, like, I'm almost wondering, it's like, okay, well, would this have worked after season 1, you know? Would this have worked after season 1, or I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out, like, how is it now in our 5th season of these 2 shows that it's suddenly so different, but really, really, really damn good, you know? And I will admit, for a long time I've been sitting here thinking, like, okay, you know, a lot of people wanted me to watch these shows, but I was sitting here like, well, yeah, they're good. There's no doubt they're good. But I was like, I'm not sure, like, what am I getting out of this? Like, what, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to put it. But it's like, I was like, they're good, but I'm not seeing them as these great, you know, masterpiece shows and everything. And it's like, okay, but this is really good and really interesting. This season has been really good and interesting. But you do need the other seasons before you get here. This is, I suppose, payoff. You know, this is what the other seasons have been building to. You can't just ditch the other seasons. But I don't know. This is kind of what I've been expecting, basically, is what I'm saying. But yeah, curious to see where we're going next episode. And with all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around to any of those. There's a playlist for all of my Ashes to Ashes reactions, as well as another playlist for all of my Life on Mars reactions if you want to go check that out. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.